Does smart money concepts work? I believe that's been the most asked questions by forex traders this past few months. And I'm here to tell you and show you that it does. But there's just a slight change with the way things used to be. And obviously, this video will be better understood by those who are already familiar with smart money concepts. So if you're just a retail trader who trades using support and resistance, trend lines, and all that, you may not be able to understand this video properly. So I better advise you to do some research on smart money concepts and come back to watch this video. But I've seen some people who trade with support and resistance and trend lines who are still able to understand some smart money concepts because they're not so different. Everything still boils down to structure. So if you understand structure, you may be able to understand this video. So I'll start by sharing you guys some ideas I had on GBP JPY, one that I currently have, and one setup was from the past. Then we'll do about 2 more examples, and we'll call it we'll put an end to this video. So first of all, I'm going to show you the setup I had just yesterday for GBP JPY, and I'm going to break down why I entered this trade as much as possible without saying too much, because I can't really go into much details or full details because I already shared that with my students and with my team as well. So for GBP JPY, I was looking to go longs yesterday, and the first thing I noticed that made me want to go longs was this 30-minute internal bullish structure. So we're making a series of higher highs and higher lows. We had these higher highs, and I was expecting a pullback to form a higher low before in continuation to the upside. And of course, if you look to your left, you can see that we had all this bullish order flow. The previous demand levels were all mitigated, and this one was the only one left unmitigated. And the market was slowly approaching it at this point. And you can see now that I got taken out, and I'm going to tell you guys why. For those of you who are already into smart money concepts, you'll be used to this term of over-refining your POI levels or your supply and demand levels. So refining a level, for those of you who are not too familiar with it, is the process of having a higher time frame level, right? Then going to the lower time frame to refine it and look for smaller demand levels within this higher time frame demand level, so that you can have a smaller entry with a smaller stop loss and a bigger profit target. That's what smart money is about: refining your entries, giving you those decent risk to reward ratios, and getting you precise entries. That's all smart money is about. But it's a problem with doing things like this. Sometimes we tend to over refine our entries, which makes us get stopped out and missing out on a potential trade. And that's just what I want to show you guys. Now, I cannot go to the lower time frame to show you guys the candle I chose because that would be me giving out too much detail. I don't plan to do that. I'll only do that with my team and with my students. So if you want to know more, you can backtest that level to see the particular candle I took and see why I got taken out. But anyway, I refined my entry, giving me a 19.9 pips stop loss. So that's approximately 20 pips stop loss, and my target is 239 pips profit. So when I placed this trade, obviously I had to look at the lower time frame price action to see if I'll have some confirmation. It didn't really give me any. So this entry was very aggressive. So now I'm showing you guys 2 reasons why. I've spoken about 2 reasons why I got taken out from this trade. I've refined my entry, and I didn't wait for lower time frame confirmation. So if you don't know about all this, I suggest you do some research or ask me some questions on through the comment section, and I'll respond as soon as I can. So I didn't wait for lower time frame confirmation, and if you can see here on the 30 minutes time frame, there was a strong bearish pressure taking me out before reversing and going back in profit. And before that happened, I would have been able to avoid this whole thing by not over refining my level and being part of this trade. And the way I would have avoided all this was if I put my stop loss below the last higher low. When you have extreme retracements like this, it's highly advisable to put your stop loss below the last higher low, because now you know that if that last higher low gets taken out, it means the market is changing from a downtrend, from an uptrend to a downtrend. So I failed to do that, and if I did that, it would have given me 27 pips stop loss. That just an additional 7 pips. Usually it's not that, my stop loss is not that huge, but given the market circumstances and volatility, stop losses are a bit higher than the way it used to be. Before, my stop loss are usually below 10 pips. And I think I have some few setups. I'll show you where my setups are below 10 pips or just around the 10 pips region later in this video. But you can see if I did that, I would have still been in the trade and I'll be part of this whole movement, which is now currently up about 200 pips. So that will give me 1 to 7 risk to reward ratio, which is also very good, very, very good compared to the way market used to be, where we'll have like a 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. That is not really advisable. It's always better to have good risk to reward ratios so that you know that even if you lose with 1 or 2 good trades, you can make that money back. And that's all what smart money is about, having those decent risk to reward ratios and maximizing your trades as much as possible to give you the best results. So I'll just show you guys 3 reasons why I didn't take this trade. Just a quick recap. 1 was because I refined my entry level. 2 was because I set my stop loss. Sorry, 2 was because I didn't wait for lower time frame confirmations. And 3 was because I didn't set my stop loss below the last higher low, making me miss out on this trade. So another thing I wanted to talk about with this current market condition is most of the time we see the market making most movements during the Asian session. Okay, because I know that most traders trade during the London and US section, but now we have many moves occurring during the Asian session. If not the moves occurring during the Asian session, we have the market retracing to our entry points during the Asian session. So I'm going to show you guys a few examples when that happened and how you would have been maybe able to catch a trade. So it all boils down to you staying up and being awake at the time the market gets to your entry. So this GBP JPY setup I had few I think about last week, and to be honest with you, I missed the trade, and I'm going to show you guys why I missed the trade. So I've talked about some setups. I've talked to you about this setup and why I missed this trade, and I'm going to show you another one now and how I missed that one because of a simple mistake. So you have to be careful about these things. Let me just write them down real quick so that you guys can follow up. So the first reason why I missed my trade was over refining my level of demand or supply, right? So 2 was, what was number 2? Number 2 was not waiting for lower time frame. So I'll just abbreviate lower time frame as LTF, lower time frame confirmations. And the last reason why I missed that setup was 3, not putting my stop loss. I'm going to abbreviate that as SL below the last higher low, since we had an extreme pullback. Sorry about my typing skills. I'm not that good with it, but I promise to get better in the future. So those are the reasons why I missed the last setup I showed you guys. So I'm going to show you another reason why I missed this one. So just to break down the reason why I had this trade, we were downtrending obviously, and we had this unmitigated supply level, clean buy to sell candle, and we had the market making this move gradually to our area of supply. So one thing I noticed was we had this inducement. If you don't know what all these concepts are, I suggest you to try as much as possible to learn them, as they will help you with navigating trades and looking for the best possible setups. So we had this inducement, which is also known as area of liquidity. Then we had all this imbalance here, where I knew that the market would likely want to come back up to fill up all this imbalance. So I had all this in mind, and that made me now want to go for shorts at that particular level. Give me a sec, guys. Let me just cut this up. All right, here we go. So I now refine my 30 minutes candle. I refine my 30 minutes candle to this 15 minutes one. So I'll have like a smaller entry and everything. So that gave me a 13.5 pips stop loss, and I entered the trade. You can see the trade got to entry during the Asian session. The Asian session for me starts from, you see my time is GMT +1. So for those who use the same time zone as me, the Asian session starts from 2:30 a.m. or 2 o'clock a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, and ends around, I think, 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. in the morning as well. That's during our London Open. So this was where it retraced to entry 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and I placed my entry. So while I was watching this trade, I saw that it made some decent moves to the downside, and that gave me confidence to break even. And that was my mistake. That was my first mistake, because there was no lower time frame. When you place your entries before you break even, you have to go to the lower time frame to look out for the break of those lower time frame structure. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have any break of lower time frame structure within this level after notification of my entry. I just entered right away. When I saw some profits, I break even and went to bed. So that was my mistake, and that's literally the only thing that made me miss this wonderful trade, because it was a 200 pips trade. You can see, 1 second, it was a 258 pips trade, because usually when I enter a trade, I usually target the lows for my take profit. That's if I'm selling, and if I'm buying, I target the previous high. So that's how I potentially missed all this. So there was a decent opportunity to catch this trade on the lower time frame, but again, I can't share that with you guys. I don't want to give out too much free information, but I think with this, I've given you guys a loan, you'll be able to catch some decent trades. So now, just a quick recap. For this trade, the first thing I observed was structure, right? It was in a downtrend. Then, second thing was it left an unmitigated demand level, and unmitigated supply level, and below this supply level was imbalance and also inducement. Okay, so I took note of those two things, and also took note of the momentum it's used in getting into my area of supply, because we don't want to see a quick movement into our supply level. That will indicate a shift in trend or whatever. So we have this slow, gradual move into our supply level, and that's what gave me confidence to take this trade. And the reason I wasn't able to take this trade was because I didn't wait for lower time frame confirmation or lower time frame break of structure before going break even. And those of you who don't know what break even means, it means putting your stop loss as entry, meaning if the trade reverses, you won't lose any money, you just get taken out of the trade. And that's what happened. During London Open, we had a reversal. Although there was a opportunity to take the trade during London, but I wasn't awake to take advantage of that second opportunity, and I missed out on this crazy move. So let me just write out the fourth reason now. Four mistakes that you should avoid is going break even too early. I've missed a couple of trades just because of that, going break even too early. That's without waiting for lower time frame break of structure before going break even. Okay, so try and avoid such mistakes. So another example I want to share with you guys quickly is AUD USD. I didn't take the trade, or I didn't have the trade personally, but it was something that I back tested and I saw, and it was crazy. So it's just going to be similar with the other ones I've talked to you guys about. So the first thing you look at when you're looking at this kind of setup is structure. What is the market doing? So the first thing I observed was the market was downtrading. Obviously, you have to do your higher time frame analysis to check out the higher time frame structure, but I don't want to go into all that now. Maybe that will be for another video. Maybe I'll do a video on how to break down or do analysis starting from a higher time frame analysis to lower time frame. So I'm just going to go straight forward now, and maybe we can do that in another video if I have some requests for that. So the first thing I observed was the market was in a downtrend, yeah, making a new low, and this was a pullback to a level, right? I didn't backtest to see what level, but it could likely be this one. So we had a rejection from there. And one thing I noticed is it didn't create a new low, but what it did was it created liquidity, which is equal lows, right? So equal lows, equal highs, inducement, the previous lows, previous highs, they are all forms of liquidity. Again, I don't want to talk about all that stuff now. Maybe I'll do that in another video. So we have this liquidity here, and what you observe for, look at what you observe for GBP JPY shorts. We had a slow movement into our area of supply, and it's the same thing we had here. So you can see we had a slow movement, and for our POI, we had the supply level here, which I had marked out, or I had marked out during my back testing. This wasn't a trade I took. Okay, this wasn't a trade I took. So we had a pullback to that level, and if you want to look at that level further, you can see we had imbalance before the candle. We also had this slight lower time frame inducement. So all that are just checklists to have before taking your entries, or when you're looking at your candles where you have where you're looking to place your entries from. So just take note of all those things and apply them to your trading toolbox and see how it will help you get more solid setups. So after we had impact on the trade, I just want to show you this because it's very, very clean. We now had a clean lower time frame entry, which made me had 4.1 pips stop loss, and the target was just about 140 pips, giving me a 1 to 35 risk to reward ratio. And the reason I'm showing you guys this setup is this is one of the cleanest setup I've seen in months. You can't see, it's very hard to say setup this clean these days, except you're very, very careful, very, very observant. This setup was one of the best I've seen so far. So going to the 5 minute time frame now, or rather the 3 minutes time frame, we had a clean lower time frame confirmation, right? A very clean lower time frame confirmation. So after impact, we now had a break of structure and a retracement to this supply levels. Very clean, nothing too complicated. And that gave me a 4.1 pip stop loss, and the rest was just history. Look at the time of the entry. That was late New York session. And most of the time, people are not so active in the market at this time. So if you want to be able to catch trades, you have to be extra observant. You have to be extra cautious. You have to stay in the market for a while before you be able to catch anything these days. It's not like when the way things used to be when people just come online, New York open, you see the market retracing into a demand or supply level, you just take it, and that the rest will be history. You just be in profit. Things are not like that these days. Most of the action happens during those late hours of the market, and it's not so advisable, but that's just the way it is. So it's just best we adjust and see how we can take advantage of the new market conditions, to be able to make profits and everything. So this was very clean, and it was so far the best trade I've seen in months. And I do a lot of back testing. For me to say this is one of the best or the best I've seen, you have to know it's the best. So we had a move down, clean move, hardly any pullbacks to take at this level of liquidity, and it just kept going lower than that. So if you saw this trade, big ups to you. You're a decent trader. I really respect you for catching and seeing such opportunity. Very clean, and I hope for more opportunities like this. But before I end this video, let me just show you guys one last one. I just have the vibe to just show you guys more setups. That's just the way I am. Even if I plan to do something, I tend to overdo sometimes, and I just love giving out information. So I'm looking for the setup. Okay, this one. Okay, this was your USD. This was also very, very clean, and it's not that complicated. So on the lower time frame, like I said, before doing all this, you have to do your higher time frame analysis to know the trend of the higher time frame, so you know where you're going to be buying to, and I know where you're going to be, selling from and all that stuff. But I'm not going to get into details now about all that. I just want to show you guys real quick. This was a lower time frame analysis. You can see we had some downtrend, then we had the break of structure above the last lower high, signifying a shift in trend. So now we had two levels. We had level 1, we had level 2. And why didn't level 1 work out? Level 1 was a form of inducement, and level 1 was a form of inducement. And if you look at the lower level, we had this level of imbalance here. So the market took out this level of demand, made a pullback to this unmitigated demand level with imbalance in between, and had a nice rejection. Although it was not so nice, I made the move back up, giving me 92 pips profit. Made the move back up to this supply level, giving me 92 pips profit before making a move down. So if you remember the first setup I showed with you guys, GBP JPY, and I missed out on the trade because of I refined. You see, if we made that same mistake here, it would have likely been my entry point and my stop loss, because that is the refined candle on the lower time frame. That would have given me 8.6 pip stop loss. And you can see if I did that, I would have been taken out. But because my stop loss was at the extreme below the last low, I didn't get taken out, and the trade just went properly well, and there was no issues with that at all. So put everything I've told you in this video into consideration, add them to your toolbox. If you're having doubts with anything I said, you can do some back testing. You can also, if you have questions after doing some back testing, you can reach me on Instagram at official Spencer FX. So this is my Instagram page. You can just text me at any time you want, and I'll reply as soon as I can. I also have a Telegram channel with the link in my bio. And this is my channel where I post setups every once in a while. So if you also want to contact me on Telegram, my contact info is there. You can just go to the bio of my Telegram channel, and you can contact me through that. If you have questions, I'll be able to reply you as soon as I can, because most of the time I'm on the chat and I'm not on my phone. So I don't reply too quickly. So just do some back testing, okay? Back test everything I talked to you about, and you just let me know how much impact it made in your trading, or how much progress you made doing some back testing. Also, you can also let me know in the comment section, and I look forward to making more videos to share with you guys what I know, and everything I'm sharing with you guys is to the best of my knowledge. Okay, it's to the best of my knowledge, is the way I've been trading, is what has been working for me, and I just like to share it sometimes. To give out free contents to those who are not able to afford a decent mentorship. Okay, so that's my plan, and I'm doing more videos as time goes. So please like, Please subscribe, please comment, and that will encourage me a lot to put in more effort into this and give out more content to you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay, so have a nice day, everyone. Bye.